Hey besties, welcome back to the Cozy Corner. It's your girl Jen, and if you're new here, welcome. I'm a college student at Cal State Dominguez, and I love talking about books and everything else with you guys. And if you're not new here, welcome back to the chaos. So you guys can tell this is the same exact day of the recording that I did the other video. We are doing a tipsy session of all the worst books that I've read in 2025. I'm sorry, 2026 rather. We are indeed in 26, you guys. Get that shit right. We are already in April, and the year is going by so quickly. Let me just fucking tell you. If you don't know, I'm starting a 4-part series on my channel for the worst books of 2026. I'm hoping to continue this with every single year that I do. Maybe we'll do like an actual true quarter system where it's like 4 books here, 4 books there, 4 books there. But we'll just see. We'll just see. But for now, we are doing a 4-part series of the every 3 months. I will do the worst books that I have read in 2026. It'll be like January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, etc., etc., etc. So if you're ready to get on with the discussion, let's go ahead and grab ourselves a cozy beverage. I will indeed be partaking in some alcohol, some adult beverages, some adult sippies, and that was disgusting. Ew, that was gross. I'm so sorry, guys. And we can get on with the video. Give me one moment. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I've already had a couple of sips at the recording of this video, so we will just go through this as sober as possible, if that is possible at all. So starting in January, the worst book, I will say, like I mentioned before, in January, it was my reread month of Throne of Glass. I needed some books afterwards to quench the hangover that I was going through. I needed something to just pick me up after the Kingdom. I need something to pick me up after the Kingdom of Ash series or the Kingdom of Ash books. You guys already know the fucking alcohol is getting to me at this point. But regardless, I picked up a few more books after that. In fact, I picked up 8 more books after that. No, sorry, 7 more books after that. Your girl can't do math at all. I'm so sorry. I'm a fucking biology major. I'm not a math major, but rambling on. I picked up Midnight on the Celestial. Now, I got this. I got an actual arc of this. While I partook in the giveaways in the Goodreads section, and I was really excited to read it. I will say the art style on the paperback cover was beautiful. I was really excited to read this. I was like, what is this going to be about? From reading Jamie Foxx plot synopsis, I was like, this is awesome. We are following basically a girl. I'm going to tell you guys firsthand right now, I'm not going to know any of the names of any characters in these books. I will be considering them as like the female lead and the MMC, the male lead essentially. So our FMC is basically in this world where, inherent magic can be like very damaging to society and to the soul. And if you use it incorrectly, you are basically you are given 2 options. You are either basically injected with this like euthanizing potion for your magic itself. You don't actually die. It'll just be like you won't be able to use magic anymore. Or you can serve out your sentence on the Celestial, which is like this big yacht, like cruise style ship where you work as a servant in order to serve the families of society, and you hopefully gain their favor in order to partake in this like a retrial essentially to show the society that you are safe, you are a law-abiding citizen using his magic to, like, I don't know, be good or something like that. So we are following a character who uses necromancy magic. She's essentially able to communicate with the dead, see the dead, raise the dead for specific purposes, and she comes from a very high society family. That her father actually sits on the council for these specific issues that happen in the world, essentially. Like, he is in charge of putting the bad guys away, and he's trying to show the rest of the counselors that, like, hey, my daughter is awesome, she's amazing, and she's great, she's totally going to pass this year. Well, she doesn't. And so she's basically she's sentenced to, well, at first, I'm so sorry, I'm rambling at this point, but at first she's basically told that, like, hey, you are going to be euthanized. Well, your magic rather will be euthanized. I'm seeing euthanized for some reason because it's like destroys your magic, but she's not actually dead. It's just her magic that she's not going to be able to use anymore for the rest of her life. But instead of doing that, she runs away to the Celestial and she's like, fuck that, I'm going to be getting a second chance at this point. She doesn't realize, though, that along with the hundreds of other staff members, the glasses are coming off at this point. Your girl's sweaty already. She's a little bit tipsy at this point, I won't lie. But among the hundreds of other staff members, she has a very, very, very minuscule chance at getting chosen to go for her retrial. She ends up meeting other characters like the MMC and like his little found family group of friends that are also all going for the same thing. These are all people who have magic powers that are able to use them for specific parts of the day. I think it's in exchange for something else too. There's like, if you use this magic, it's in exchange for something else. I don't know like what the what the consequence, there we go, that's a word, right? I don't know what the consequences is for any of these situations, but regardless, if you use your magic, of course there's a consequence that happens afterwards. Some people, I think, like, they break their bones in order to be pretty or something like that. I'm probably totally wrong, but regardless, like I said, she's working with these people. She's working with these friends to try and all basically like hype each other up so that they have an opportunity to get their retrial and get their magic back. A situation and a huge plot twist happens at the very end. I will say, let me finish the fucking story though. Basically at the end, some people turn into bad guys and they have to figure out how to save the world and bring about societal peace, essentially. But that's basically the end of the book. Very, very vague, spoiler-free plot synopsis. I will say my problems with this book, like, I gave this book I want to say a 3.5 star. Like, it wasn't the worst book I ever read. It wasn't the best by any means. It's also a debut novel. I do want to preface that 100% this is a debut novel, so I can't really give it too much critique. I can say that there were some pacing issues and there were some issues where I was just very bored for the most part. I didn't have an e-arc. This was a very physical copy. Lately, like these days, I've been very much audio and ebook. I've been kind of lazy, I'm not gonna lie. School and work are just getting me right now. We're not gonna talk about it. But yeah, so I tried to give this book the best chance that I could. So I wanted to spend a specific amount of time every day reading it. I knew this book was only like 350 pages. Like, this was very much a feasible book to read in a weekend, if that makes sense. Like 50 to 100 pages a day, totally possible. I will say the pacing issues and the other things that were going on, like, I was just kind of bored for the most part. I don't really remember much else than what I told you. I'm not gonna lie, this shit happened like 2 months ago. I don't remember what I had for breakfast last night or yesterday morning. So moving the book on, I'm gonna have another sip of my drink, possibly fill it by the end of this video, and I will get to you guys in February. Okay, guys, so it is now February. Not actually, but in this month, it was very much still cozy weather, winter weather. It was very, like, overcast and rainy and cold, and it was just perfect for those cozy books, like I mentioned in my previous video. If you guys haven't already noticed, I read the Mcintire series. I reread it, and you guys already know, if you watched that video, what my favorite book of that month was. But after the Mcintire series, I needed some, like I said, some chasers, some fillers, some thrillers, if you will. And so I picked up a whole bunch of stuff. But if you want to know what I actually read in that video, or if you want to know what I actually read in February, go ahead and watch my TBR wrap-up video for February. Moving the fuck on, I picked up the Never After series by Emily Mcintire. I want to say that I picked two of the books. Like, it was like two random books in the Never After series, and I was like, well, clearly these aren't the first two books, but they are like just standalones. They're not even interconnected. Like, there's no Easter eggs from previous books. Like, this is literally just like a very, very grim retelling of like dark romance and like specific characters that were mentioned in this. Excuse me, sorry, that was disgusting. In the grim fairy tales are like having their own story or whatever. And so I read Hooked, I read Scarred, I read the entire series minus the last one. Apparently, in February, the worst book that I read was Scarred. This book is it's in the fucking name. This is a Mufasa, Scar, and like whatever the hell Mufasa's wife's name is. I'm so sorry, I don't remember. It's been a long time since I've watched the Lion King book, the Lion King movie. I'm sorry, I'm clearly a little bit tipsy at this point. But I remember not liking this book just because it was very Renaissance era. It was very Bridgerton in the way the books are, where it was very misogynistic, very rude, very disgusting as far as like the male point of view. You got both point of views in this book. You got the male and the female point of view. The female annoyed the fuck out of me. She's this dainty little princess, and then all of a sudden turns to this badass fucking warrior, not having any context as to how she got that way. But like, it's just like in a couple of like lines of text, it's like, oh, like my master from a long time ago like taught me all these things, and so like now I'm just like this badass princess, and I all of a sudden knew how to like protect myself from because of like these long ago trainings and whatever. I was like, this entire time you are being like portrayed as like this, oh, I'm so dainty, I could never fight for my life type of situation. It's really annoying. There are some times where like she does like fend for herself and like all of a sudden overpowers this guy, but like the rest of the time she's like, this little dainty little princess, what do you mean I can't pick up tails, it's like a man job, whatever. And like the guy is just like, ugh, he's so infuriating. He's this Scar portrayed guy like very heavily on the Scar, like the roar that I'm a fucking lion, dude, like you scratch your eyes out, gut your entrails, and blah 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 blah. Like insert line behavior, and that is exactly what the fuck this guy is. This is obviously, like I mentioned, a grim retelling where the guy and the girl end up overpowering his good brother or whatever to rule the kingdom, and it was annoying. Let's just say that it was annoying. I want to say, what did I give this? Let me look at Goodreads real quick. I gave this 2.5, and I wanted to say that. I just want to confirm. This, like I said, was really annoying. It was whatever. It was a nothing book, and it was just one of those fillers where it's like I listened to one audio because it was available for free immediately on the Libby app. That's how you guys know it was bad. Not even that. I don't want to portray Libby, especially the books being free, and the books being readily available as like a bad book. Like nobody cares about it. But for this specific book, 100% nobody cared about it. Nobody cared about this book. Moving the fuck on to March, I'm gonna go refill my glass of juice, my plastic glass of juice, alcoholic juice, and I'll be right back. Okay, so moving on to the month of March, we are in springtime. I will say spring hit us like summer. It was like, no, there's no like nice breeze and nice like 72-degree weather of like easing you into spring. No, this was like immediately summer. We are skipping spring bitches. Today I think it's going to be getting up to 84 degrees actually, and we are barely in April. We're supposed to be like easing into like the 75 degrees, into the 77s, and like barely into 80 by fucking August. No. We are getting an early summer this year. Regardless, I started my Zodiac Academy series. Like I mentioned, my journey has been enjoyable to say the least. I've been taking it with just having fun. I'm not taking the books any too seriously at all, which is why I'm having so much fun. I will say, after I read the first 12 books in the Zodiac Academy series, I was like, yeah, I need some filler books. I need something to take my mind off of this shit because I have to wait until April, and I had 7 to 10 days left of the month. And I was like, I need something to appease my thirst, to quench it, if you will. And so I decided to pick up the rest of the available Never After series that were on Libby. Because apparently the last book, I forget what it's called, Hexed, I think it's called, is not available on the Libby app. I'll have to wait until my Everend subscription re-ups as far as like the coupons or the credits that are available for each month. But also, like, do I really want to waste a credit on a fucking Never After series book? No. They're also available on Kindle Unlimited. So like, if I really wanted to, I could fucking read it on Kindle Unlimited for no reason. But moving the fuck on, are we surprised that my lowest rated book on this month, on March, was a Never After book? No. Because it was crossed. Now I will say this book was a lot better than the Scarred book because it was so stupid. I want to tell you guys. This is a Hunchback of Notre Dame retelling. We are following a very pompous, like set in his ways, God will save you priest and a stripper. Stripper for good cause though. She is a midnight ballerina in order to have enough money to pay for her like mentally challenged, neurologically disordered younger brother, essentially, because their mom is like off doing meth cocaine or something like that. She's like not in the picture at all. And so she's like over here trying to just raise money to fucking fend for herself and her brother in this apartment that she shares with her bestie, who is a retired midnight ballerina herself. And so she ends up bumping into this guy. Mind you, I want to like preface this real quick. This guy's not like morally good at all. He's very morally black. He's very morally gray. He is a secret assassin himself. He gets a very specific urge in the middle of nowhere to just like go out and kill somebody. And he ends up beating himself, disciplining himself afterwards in repentance. I think that's the word, right, that you use when you're praying to God and be like, I'm so sorry for my sins and I'm repenting for it. Yeah, that makes sense, right? And so while he's off doing such things, I want to say that he happens upon her one night when she gets off of work. And no, I'm so sorry. In the beginning of the book, he actually ends up seeing her at work while she's doing her midnight ballerina things, and he ends up running into her boss. not her boss, but like he is her boss essentially, but it's because her mother owed like a debt to him, and so now he's like, well, you're the next of kin, so you're gonna owe this debt to me, or you could become my wife, and then the debts will be paid and whatever the fuck. She's like, no, you're like a greasy old man, I don't want that, so I will try and pay this to you, even though me personally, I don't think, well, the book character rather, me personally, I don't think that I owe you this money, but it's whatever the fuck else, I need to protect my brother. And so he ends up seeing her doing her midnight ballerina activities. He also ends up running into his the boss, which is like his coworker of sorts. Like the boss works for him and vice versa. I have no fucking idea how that shit works. I don't even remember at this point. But essentially, later the priest and the girl end up like running into each other at the store. She's with her brother, and obviously, like I mentioned, her brother is very mentally challenged, possibly some form of autism here. And people in society don't really feel comfortable around people, or it's like an animalistic thing. They don't feel comfortable. An animal doesn't feel comfortable around something that's different than their kind. People who, or animals, for example, who have young that are ill, missing a limb, like something's wrong with it, they will immediately like attack it and eat it and kill it off to like extend the bloodline, essentially extend the possibility of like actual fit, like survivability wise, spawn to like move on. But like human wise, it's like we kind of consider it's like a very innate primal feeling of otherness that we end up training. Well, if we're amazing people, we train ourselves to not think about, and some people have this innate ability to not see the otherness in a person who is mentally challenged, or neurologically disordered, whatever the fuck word that you want to use to make yourself feel better. I'm just trying to use clinical terms, but is like socially acceptable in the clinical world at the moment. Don't come for me, it's whatever. I personally have a severely autistic uncle myself, and our relationship's pretty good. It's whatever. Like I see him like whenever I see him, and it's great. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying at this point. I'm a little bit tipsy myself. But yeah, so the point being, the priest has a very like easygoing way about himself when it comes to talking to the little brother. He's very easygoing with him. He's very chill with him. They end up like developing a bond, and the brother is like, this guy's actually kind of cool. It's whatever. Moving the fuck on, the priest has like an innate feeling of like anger and hatred towards the midnight ballerina girl. He ends up like trying to kill her, but every time he tries to, he just like gets this feeling of like, I can't. I don't know why, but I can't. And so he ends up like falling for her, and it's a whole thing, it's whatever. The book was fine. Like, it wasn't the worst book that I ever read at this point. If anything, that would go to Wuthering Heights. You guys have the worst fucking memory. This is like a very like honorable mention. My book club was like, what would be great, since Wuthering Heights is about to come out. Mind you, there's so many fucking Wuthering Heights reimaginings in this world. It's crazy. There's at least 10 or 12. Regardless, yeah, so I read Wuthering Heights because my book club was like, let's read Wuthering Heights in honor of the new movie coming out. And we're like, sure. I listened to it on audio because I totally forgot that the book club girlies were having our book club girly day, and we were supposed to have come to book club having read a specific amount of chapters of the Wuthering Heights book. So in honor of that, I got it was on Kindle Unlimited apparently, so I got it for free essentially, and I was able to listen to the audiobook at work, and I was able to finish most of it on the way home. Yeah, I don't remember what the fuck the book was about. So it's funny because when I was at book club, there was this one person who had read the entire book as a child and like was doing a reread, and she was talking about these very specific scenes, and I was like, there was a dog in this book? Like, fucking when? Like, what do you mean the dog died? I didn't even get that scene at all. It was a very interesting book, and I don't remember what it was about. So whether it was like I read the book and wasn't really paying attention to it, or I didn't understand because it was a classic. I have a problem with trying to read classics thinking that I like them and then being disappointed that I don't. And that's a me thing. I totally understand this is out of my genre. Literary fiction and classics are just not my thing, and I need to fucking get that through my thick skull, because for the longest time, until like a couple of days ago when I really thought about it, I was like, I think I DNF the series at like 10%. No, I read the entire series or the entire book rather, because it was like 6 hours on audio at like 2 times speed, and so I barely finished it and didn't remember what the fuck it was about. So that being said, that was an honorable mention. My best book of 2026 part 1 also had an honorable mention, so why the fuck not for this book as well? Sorry, for this episode as well, I guess. Yeah. random as fuck. I'm a bit tipsy at this point. I don't know if you can tell because I'm loud as hell. Maybe it's just the acoustics in my house, but let me know if you guys are interested in me continuing the series. I'm gonna do it regardless, so you guys are just in for the ride and have a great time. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss when I upload a brand new video. Like the video, of course, whatever. Hype the video because apparently it's like a thing now, and it's like a good way to like get exposure and whatever. And if you read any of these books, or yeah, if you read, excuse me, sorry, I'm fucking on at this point. If you read any of these books, go ahead and put them down in the comments below. And if you had a different thought than mine, definitely explain those thoughts as well. Or if you haven't read any of these books, go ahead and put down below what your worst book this year was. And I will see you guys next Saturday for another video. Bye, guys.